Ladies and gents, welcome back to Yanks of the Roundtable. Very special episode on the agenda for today. First off, guys, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody here tuning in. Hopefully you're enjoying the time, family, friends, loved ones. A lot of football on this week, right? Boxing Day right around the corner, and that's what we're going to be discussing and previewing in this very special episode of Yanks of the Roundtable tonight. As usual, I am joined by Barca Boy 103. Austin Forbes is back after missing last week. It is the holidays. Max is doing a lot of traveling, so we're not going to hold him to being on the episode today. Again, we're going to preview without him, but we do obviously know kind of where he stands with some of these matches coming in as a United fan. And guys, if you haven't done so already, man, do me a favor. Like the video down below. Subscribe to the channel, especially if you're brand new to Goals TV. Lots of Premier League content week in and week out on this channel. Plenty more coming in 2025. So go ahead and subscribe down below. All right, guys, let's not waste any more time. We're not going to do the usual predictions that we do on this show. It's a special episode for Christmas. Let's keep it focused on Boxing Day alone and ask some big questions of these matches that are coming in and see how the lads are kind of feeling about some of these teams that are going to be coming in on Boxing Day. Again, everyone is set to play. So Thursday, Friday, some big matches for the Premier League. Guys, let's jump right into it, man. Hafi, let's start with you, man. The must-watch match of the day. I know it's not the sexiest slate of matches, but with the table at play, there's got to be some here. So who do you have your eye on?
Yeah, for me, I think the must-watch game is Wolves versus United for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's the midday kickoff. So, in America, Canada, I wake up too early. Nice little midday after your morning, relaxation. But also, you have Wolves coming off the back of a managerial bounce, coming off a 3-0 win against Leicester. Man United in turmoil, needing a win at the Molineux, where United over the past few years tend to struggle a lot, regardless of the level of Wolves. And also watching, a big team kind of fumble a bit is always nice to see for a neutral fan or also a fan of Premier League clubs who, always hate United because they've been dominating the Premier League the whole entire time for like 30 years. Not recently, though.
But that's me, bro. That's me.
So I think this is the good one. I think the other ones, I think Newcastle and Villa is probably the most quality match to look out for, but it's kind of in the mornings. It might be throwing a few people off. But I think, midday, see how United do in a game where they are desperate to win, but with Wolves a little bit of bounce back on that new manager as well in their stadium. The Molineux for the festive period is always a good atmosphere. So I think they played on Christmas Eve last year, where again the atmosphere is quite good. Little evening game there's always riled up. So that'd be the one that I'm looking out for.
Austin, I'll be honest, bro. I had this exact game for a couple different reasons that Hoffman mentioned too. But before I get to mine, did you have the same one, Wolves hosting United, or someone else?
I did have a different game, even though that one was up there for basically the same reasons Hoffman just said. I picked City and Everton, and to me, I picked that really because of this putrid form City is in, and me who's sticking by them for really some unknown reason. But I mean, we just keep saying to ourselves every week, or maybe it's just me, but it's like they eventually have to get out of this form, but we just haven't seen them do it. And Sean Dyche and Everton are just sitting there, the one team who could just sit there and just frustrate City, who are already frustrated. Like, to me, and it's the early kickoff is 7:30 Eastern, but to me, that's going to be one of the most interesting games this week.
Yeah, I think so too, man. You know what's crazy, man? Sean Dyche, he's 2 games in a row now against Bix's opponents, has found a way to set up shop and become the master of 0-0, right? And hold, some pretty powerful offensive teams at bay, whether it's the low block or not. I don't know what it is. They haven't dropped points in the Prem since the 1st of the month when they went to United and got smacked 4-0 at Old Trafford. Which is kind of crazy now to look at Amorim's side, who feels like they're down bad going to Wolves. But yeah, man, Sean Dyche might do it, bro. And that's the early game. So if anybody who's waking up after that Christmas slumber want to get right back into the action, that's the very first game of the day. So I don't know, man. This would be a game you feel like Pep could come back, but Austin's been bitten by that before. So I don't know. We'll see. I had the same reason as Hoffman, bro, for going to the Molineux. As a United fan, I'm sure the United fans have to be nervous after what just happened against Bournemouth. Bro, if they lose to Wolves, the wheels might have just fallen off for the entire season. Like now, I think we're talking about United maybe even being bro, maybe even being in a relegation battle. I don't know, man. Like they're at a point now where
At this, if they lose this game, they just have Europa League to look forward to, and that won't hit really like
I don't
seriously
even
until
know
like
if that's
March.
possible, bro.
No, like seriously, I'm not saying they're gonna win or not, but once they hit like the round 16, that's where they get like some sort of excitement to look forward to, and that won't come till like March anyway. So they just give them like 3 months to prepare for it. To be fair, but
bro, they're
they have
6
nothing going
points
for them.
ahead of Everton on the table right now.
Yeah, but they can't just sit there and just be like, okay, because like Jose said, I mean, they're kind of teetering on a relegation battle, even though I don't think any of us think they can be relegated. But you can't just be like, okay, like we're not going to go anywhere, and you just keep dropping games, and boom, you're in the relegation battle, and you're really freaking out.
Yeah, man. We talked about it prior to the show. Like there are some pretty notable teams in history that have had higher points at this point of the season than Manchester United has today. And they got relegated. They still got relegated, right? I think Reading back in, I don't know what year it was, 2011, 2012, something like that. 28 points, 6 points clear of where United are today. Still found a way to see themselves out of the Prem back into the Championship. I don't know, man. 22 points for United. If they lose to Wolves, who are fighting for their life down there, man, that's going to be up there, man, as must-watch TV for anybody who's a Prem
I would
fan.
just jump in very quickly. If we're saying United could get relegated as well, we should throw Spurs in. They're only 1 point ahead. They have a big game this on Boxing Day as well against Forest away. So if they lose their game as well, they could be dragged into that a little bit.
I had Spurs so high at the beginning of the season for just I thought they would progress under Ange, but that's a conversation for a completely different day. I will enjoy the downfall as an Arsenal fan as long as I possibly can. So, all right, man. So either way, both Manchester sides, City and United, probably some much-watched TV to kick off Boxing Day. All right, man. Let's talk about the fourth place race. We had a big debate on this last season. If you watch Yanks of the Roundtable 23-24, Hafid and I kind of went back and forth on this one. I think we'll probably do it again. The fourth place race is so interesting this season, though. It's not Spurs, Villa, right, like it was last year. It's Forest, Bournemouth, and Villa right below them, right? They each have interesting matchups this week. Very interesting matchups, right? Forest has Spurs. Bournemouth have Crystal Palace. Yep. And then you have Newcastle hosting Villa at St. James Park. And so, like, look at these matches, bro. Who's like, keep in mind, Forest are 3 points ahead of the other two. But Austin, let's start with you this time, man. Who do you have ending Boxing Day or the Boxing Day matches, if you will, Thursday and Friday, in that fourth place spot?
Well, to a surprise to absolutely no one, I'm not going to pick Forest. And a lot of that's due because I think they're going to lose, and I think Bournemouth will win, and Bournemouth has a higher goal difference. So I'm actually going to pick Bournemouth, which is weird because, I mean, they lost to Leicester under Cooper and when we were awful. And, I mean, I literally,
kinda,
when I was looking at the table, I was like, shoot, they're in fifth. I was like, it was just shocking to me. But, yeah, I think I'm going to go Bournemouth. I mean, that Forest train's about to keep on going down off the cliff. So, and I'll be here for it.
I think you're still gonna be waiting for it a little while, man. I'll be honest, bro. I think you're gonna be waiting a little bit. Forest should beat Spurs. Like let's be honest, lads. They should beat Spurs. I think so. I don't know how to feel about this Spurs side. Like they just got absolutely dominated by Liverpool at home. And again, it's Liverpool, right? We're not talking about that, but bro, 6 fucking goals. Like they're not stopping anybody. As long as you're starting Archie Gray and Dragusin back there, they're not stopping anybody. Chris Wood might get a hattie, legitimately. Like I don't know what's gonna happen with this game, bro. For me, Forest ends up in fourth. I think they stay there, and as much as Austin doesn't want to hear it, bro. I mean, I don't know, man. They might be a Europa League contender this season. They really might be. They keep going. So I'm gonna stick with Forest. I can't back Spurs to get some kind of a result here. And for that reason, regardless of what happens everywhere else with Villa at St. James's Park or Bournemouth, probably finding a way to completely annihilate Palace, it's not going to matter if Forest come and do what they got to do. So I got Forest.
I have a sneaky suspicion in my balls it's going to be Forest because I feel like all 3 teams will win. That's kind of my bold prediction. I was gonna go Bournemouth. I think in Palace at home, the expectation is for them to win. The problem with Bournemouth is that they're a good team, but when they're expected to win, they don't win. That's what annoys me about them. Kind of like a little bit like Brighton in the October, November period, where everyone thought they would win games and they kind of slowed down a little bit. You can tell from our predictions on the show. So I feel like Forest will stay there just because I don't think anyone will win. I definitely don't think. Well, Villa, of course, can win, but St. James's Park on Boxing Day is going to be one hell of a task. I think Forest and Bournemouth can definitely win their games, but it just comes down to what version of them come into this game. Of course, after Christmas, are they still, stuffed with food? Are they on a hangover? Like, what's going to be the mindset going there? And of course, they're both at home as well, so you can't even take away that maybe potential traveling and away factor. So I'm going to say Forest with the bold prediction. I think that none of them will win
Or will lose, you say?
or lose. Or I say yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I agree with what you said about Bournemouth, bro. They haven't lost in over a month now. The last 5 games, they've picked up at least a point, 3 points in the majority of them. They haven't lost since they were hosting Brighton back in like Thanksgiving weekend-ish.
And I backed Bournemouth for that game as well.
Yeah, bro. It's crazy. So like that's again, right now they're in a great run of form. We'll see how long it lasts. But the fact that they're top 5 right now, Iraola ball is flying at the moment. So yeah, man, kind of crazy when you think about it. I'll also echo everything Hafid said. I think it's just going to be a situation where, due to where they are currently, they all should win. Nothing should change, in my opinion. But we'll find out. Let us know in the comments down below who you think ends up at the end of Boxing Day in that 4th place spot. Close race there. All right, man. Let's talk the bottom half of the table. We got to show some love, obviously. Which bottom half side needs a result the most in these Boxing Day fixtures? Let's start with Hoffman in this one, work our way back around. Hoffman, when you look at this, man, look at the table. A lot of different sides to choose from, and this year's unlike most, right? In that bottom half, we got guys like Spurs, United, West Ham. I mean, a lot of guys that we just didn't see being down there at this time. So who needs it the most this weekend, Hoffman?
I think it's got to be West Ham. They're going to the worst team in the league. I know it's away from home. Like I just mentioned, the away factor after Christmas could be a little bit in effect, but they've got to win this game. Southampton is one of the worst sides I've seen in the Premier League in my life during this kind of era. I used to love Southampton back in the day, like 2012, 2015. That was my kind of team, Pele up front, Sadio Mane, but they fell off a cliff since then. I think with the opponent they're facing, and also with the fact that Leicester have Liverpool, Wolves have United, so you're expecting Leicester not to maybe get any points, expecting Wolves maybe potentially could do something. So I would say this would be a really big step for Lopetegui, not only to keep his job, but to also have, I would definitely say, with a win, 1 foot out of that relegation battle long term. So yeah. I would say West Ham. I also think this would be a great opportunity for Wolves as well, catching a team like United down at their lowest moment with that new manager bounce, getting that confidence, momentum regained. So I'd favor those two, but mainly on West Ham because they're kind of have a little bit of gap and they can just extend that gap even more. Yeah. Not be in the conversation like you're already name dropping them in.
Yeah, no, 100%, bro. I think the Wolves shout's also a really interesting one, but with West Ham, I kind of just look at the table now. I'm really inclined to agree. If they win with some of the other matches that are happening, with United going to Molineux, Brentford going to be at the Amex against Brighton, Tottenham heading to Forest, to the City Ground. So with all of those things, right? Like with who's directly above them, they can make a decent leap, maybe 2 spots or something like that. And you want to get them rolling, because if they don't do it now, I mean, you're looking at West Ham from fucking 2 seasons ago, and no West Ham United fan wants to see that shit. So, Austin, you got the same one or something different?
So I do have the same game, but I got the other side. I have Southampton. It's for the same reasons. Like the teams above them have hard games. They got a better draw than those teams, and they're just to the point that. And this is a time of the year that you can really help yourself and get safe, or you can dig yourself deeper in the hole. And they're already so far in a hole that if they're, and I mean, we pretty much all think they're going to get relegated, but if they're going to ever dig themselves out, this is the time to do it.
You know what's crazy, bro? Austin, you're going to love this, man. It's a crazy shout because you guys are playing Liverpool. But I actually think you guys need a result, some kind of a result, a fucking point, something the most. I think right now,
I'm probably going to agree with you.
Yeah, man.
I'm with you.
If Wolves do, again, Hoffa just said it, right? They're going, United's heading to the Molineux, new manager bounce for Wolves. Amorim probably coming off of the worst results so far in his short tenure there at United. I think you combine all those things, and if Wolves win, right, and Leicester loses, which many fans expect them to do against Liverpool, you guys are right there in the relegation zone, right? You swap spots, and with how bad of a start Wolves have had to the season, that's a massive fucking W for them. So I think
I was about to say, when I was looking at the table before we started recording, this is the first time since we did our preseason predictions where I've actually doubted whether or not Leicester will stay in the league. Of course, I've been very adamant. I feel like they're going to stay up. I think the story, how big of a club Leicester are, I think Vardy himself can keep them up there. They're okay team for like that kind of bottom category. But seeing
Not
how
with Danny
about,
Ward in goal.
yeah, that is a major problem. But since the Wolves win, how they're looking at voice, everyone knows that Wolves are a better team in terms of personnel. But it's always about how you play in the games. But look at the table now. This is kind of the first time where I've kind of said, oh, Leicester might be going down. But don't forget as well, Southampton have just appointed a new manager as well, the former Roma coach. I forget his name. So they're going to have maybe a new manager bounce. But I think they're just so far down, like it's a bit too late for them. But that could be also a sneaky option there too.
You never know, man. 2-point split them right now. Like I said, if they do what they not should do, but if they do what they need to do against United, get a result, and Leicester can't find a way to shock the world and steal a point from Liverpool, this gets really, really interesting with the relegation battle. So, yeah, man, I don't know. And you can make an argument for a number of these teams. These are all great shouts. Again, let us know in the comments down below who you think needs and definitely needs a result in Boxing Day. We'll find out. All right, man, a little bit of quick fire here. Hot take central is what I call it, but I got a few questions. Again, you guys should throw it out there if you want to give some rationale around it. By all means, go for it, but not necessary. Kind of just curious what you guys think. Biggest shock result this weekend? Hoffman.
I would say
balls on the table. Let's go.
I'll say Fulham getting a good result against Chelsea. I don't know if a draw really counts as a good result because they just drew against Everton, but I think that they can get like a cheeky 2-1 win. I feel like Fulham, it's a London derby. I feel like they're of course a good team as well. Chelsea may be coming off the back of that 0-0 scrubby draw against Everton, so I have a suspicion that Fulham might get a result at the Bridge.
Interesting. Austin, you agree?
I think that definitely can happen, but I went, and it's not really a shock in terms of position, but it's a shock in terms of name, and I'm going to pick Wolves to win, just based on what we said earlier, like how they look with the first game of the new manager against us, and United's in turmoil and all that. But I think Wolves can get 3 points here.
Yeah, bro. That was going to be one that I thought of really heavily too, Austin. I'm not going to lie, but just to go different here, because I did have two that I was really teetering on. I think Sean Dyche is not just going to get the 0-0. I think he somehow pulls off the win at the Etihad. I think it's going to be very, some fans are calling Arsenal very Tony Pulis-like and very Stoke-like. I think it's going to be just like that, bro. It's going to be set piece FC Central. They're going to find a way. Maybe it's like a cheeky Tarkovsky header on a corner. Who knows? But Pickford's going to have the game of his life. Keep them in it. And the longer the game goes, the more confidence they'll build up on their side from Everton's standpoint. And who knows, man? They could shock the world with another result that would send City into complete hysteria fan base-wise. I'm kind of hoping for that, to be honest, bro. So I don't know. We'll see. All right. Highest scoring team. Austin, who'd you have?
Highest scoring team, I am going to go with I picked Forest to lose, but Tottenham just gave up 6. I mean, I feel like it could be West Ham just because of how bad. I mean, like they're kind of in that spot where they need a result, and Southampton's just so freaking bad. But you can't look away from Liverpool. Like they'll probably put 10 on us.
No way it's 10, bro. Ain't no way it's 10.
I've seen 9 happen, and that was with the worst team.
All right, fair enough.
So,
yeah. Hoffy, did you also pick Liverpool?
I did, yes.
Oh,
I'm thinking like 3 or 4 goals, maybe 5 if Liverpool are really feeling it, but that's what I went for, yes.
Oh, man. I'm going to go a little bit different here. I actually think it's going to be Bournemouth. I actually think for whatever reason, they're in a crazy run of form. I think Palace right now, man, I don't know what it is under Glasner. Like, I thought they looked better in the cup than in the league. In the cup, they actually gave Arsenal a pretty decent challenge, Mateta scoring really quickly. And then staying in the game the whole way through, even if it was arguably against Arsenal's B team. But then in the league match a few days later, it wasn't even close. I mean, there were moments that Palace had in the beginning, but without Eze on the field, with just how they look a little bit defensively, bro, I can see if Bournemouth keeps the form going, 3 or 4 past Palace. It could be another 5-1 that they suffer. And again, they're traveling to Bournemouth to play. So, yeah, man, I'm going to go with Bournemouth. But if Liverpool does score, bangs in 5 or 6, it's not going to fucking surprise me. I'm sorry, Austin. It is what it is, bro.
It's not going to surprise me either.
Again, bro, you guys could shock the world, man. Vardy could have 4 Red Bulls.
We just gave up 3 to Wolves and a half.
That shit was crazy.
Clean sheet the second half, though. We never know.
Yeah, you never know. Stop the bleeding. I don't know. Like I said, Salah feels inevitable right now. But if you guys could just find a way to not concede early, maybe it won't be a bloodbath. I don't know.
Well, if we could find a miracle doctor and have Mads healthy, we might have a chance.
We'll find out. We'll see how it goes. And then lastly, guys, highest individual goal scorer this weekend. Austin, I'll start with you.
I mean, if like you said, Salah feels inevitable.
He really does, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to go with him with the matchup. Maybe a guy like Jared Bowen out of nowhere,
Yeah.
like if West Ham gets rolling, but I think Salah's inevitable.
You think Salah gets a Hattie?
Maybe 5 if he's feeling it.
No shot. Salah gets 5 by himself against Leicester. Give your team some
probably
respect,
Hattie.
bro.
Not after watching them parts of the season.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Hopper, just same goal scorer.
No, I went with a rogue one. I've gone for Chris Wood. I feel like he can get
yes, bro, same one.
like a 2-2 draw. So I feel like he can get a brace. I don't think anyone will get a hat trick on Boxing Day. I think a brace is the most likely outcome. So I was thinking Isak, but I think Villa are a really good side. It'll be difficult for him. He is coming off the back of what the hat trick against Ipswich. He's on really good form, but I think Chris Wood against fucking a midfielder at center back should be able to at least beg at least a goal. So we'll see if he gets another one.
Yeah, I got Chris Wood too, by the way. I think he's going to get back a brace against Tottenham for sure. What'd you say?
I got a good trivia question. I mean, it's not a trivia question. Chris Wood is the last guy to score a Hattie on Boxing Day.
There it is. It's in the cards, man. Spurs fans, get fucking ready for Wood. He's coming. He's coming, bro. All right, guys. Look, that was great. I love that. Before we wrap up today's show, what I want to do is, and Austin kind of alluded to it already, a little bit of Boxing Day trivia for our fans, especially the ones here in America who may not be as familiar with this historic day in the Premier League. So let's test Hafid and Austin's ball knowledge a little bit. 3 questions, guys, all pretty basic. If you've watched the Prem for a little while now, you should be able to get all 3 of these, but let's tune in and find out. All right, so let's go with the first one. Which player has the most Boxing Day goals in Prem history with 10?
Oh, I know that Chris Wood has 3, so I don't know.
True. And again, it's a name we all know.
Yeah, so. I'm trying to think of like winter goals. Who's up there?
Fair.
Honestly, the first name that came to my mind was Jimmy Vardy. So
it ain't him. I mean, I'm between Kane or Shearer. I'm going to go Shearer because I don't want to pick Kane.
I actually wonder how many goals.
I don't think Kane is there. I think it's going to be someone like a good, but like a bit rogue. That's why I went Vardy.
All right. I mean, it's still a good shot. I would bet. Yeah. I would bet on him to get some goals. Okay, so we got Vardy and Shearer. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
If it's not a striker, I'll be shocked.
And the correct answer is Harry Kane. Harry Kane's got 10, bro. Austin, you were there, man. You were there. It's kind of crazy, right? He's now been out of the league for a couple of years now, but that record still stands. All right, moving on to the next one. Which player has made the most Boxing Day appearances in history with 18?
Gareth Barry.
That's what I was going to say. Gareth Barry, surely no.
It is, in fact, Gareth Barry. Yeah, these guys fucking know ball, man. They know ball. The 18 being very, very key there, right? Gareth Barry is kind of a legend, bro. If you're a City fan, and if you're a City fan who doesn't know who Gareth Barry is, you're a fucking fraud. That's all I'm going to say. You're a fraud, bro.
He's a cheeky Aston Villa legend too.
Yeah, definitely good shot Villa-wise too. But I think,
and Everton, he played everywhere. Dude was there for 20-some years.
Dude, crazy, right? I mean, but still, his time with City and that time when they were.
They played the most with City and Villa, though. Yeah.
Look at the fucking crest, bro. City was still rocking the old branding.
He was part of that transition group.
Exactly.
Him and like Shea Duffy and all them.
I think he's an underrated defensive mid when you think about even his time with England as well. He's kind of an underrated defensive mid in my opinion.
It's like a low-key version of Michael Carrick in a sense.
Yeah, he doesn't really get like a lot of shouts, but when people talk about him, when fans talk about him, you know that he was a quality player. So yeah, I think definitely up there. And finally, guys, which manager has won 16 Boxing Day matches the most in history?
Awesome. Go so Alex, and I'll go Wenger. Let's battle it out.
Okay, cover your bases.
I was gonna go Sir Alex. So if
All
you
right,
want to go Wenger,
I'll go Wenger.
No Mourinho shouts. No anything else.
Nah.
All right, fair enough. And you guys would be correct. It is Fergie. So,
yeah.
he is the most. I mean, dude, he's, of a volume alone, he's fucking up there. I haven't looked at the full list to see who's even close to catching him, but I imagine that it's still a long shot. So, yeah, man, look, pretty high level stuff. Again, our guys on the show do know ball, and I'm sure Max would be proud knowing that Hoppin just kind of inserted Fergie right off the rip. But all right, man, guys, look, that is it. That is our Boxing Day preview for 2024 Premier League Boxing Day. If you haven't done so already, man, do me a favor, like the video down below, subscribe to Goals TV, and again, man, kick back. Enjoy the holidays. I know it's we're kind of recording here on Christmas Eve. This will go live on Christmas Day. We hope you guys enjoy the matches. And if we're right, man, come back to the fucking comments and give us some props because we definitely need it after some of the predictions we had the last couple of weeks. Game week 16 and game week 17 were not the most friendly to Yanks of the Roundtable. We're going to pick it back up in the new year. So again, guys, from everybody here at Yanks of the Roundtable, thank you so much for watching. My name is Jose. That's Austin. That's Hoffman. We'll catch you guys next time.